in Cayman Islands and for all those tuning in via the internet, welcome to another series on Let's Get Loud with Ingrid. Our guest this week is Peter Sellers. Peter was born in Kingston, Jamaica, where he grew up with both parents and four younger siblings. Peter is the 1994 recipient of the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission Award for Actor of the Year for his high school drama competition. Outside of acting, Peter is certified by the Heart NTA in Jamaica and is a computer repair technician. Peter's childhood desire was to be a pilot, but he was drafted into the family business, VG Sellers Tailoring, at an early age, and his father, who was the master tailor, relinquished the reins of the business to him after he completed high school. Peter expanded the business internationally and opened Sellers International here in the Cayman Islands 8 years ago. Peter is married and is the loving father of 5 children, 3 girls and 2 boys. And he is now focused on doing work for the kingdom of God here on earth, here in the Cayman Islands. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to Let's Get Loud, Peter Sellers. Peter, how are you?
I am good. It's glad to be here. I'm happy to be alive. Thank God. Praise God, Miss Ingrid. How are you?
I am doing great, and I'm so thankful for this opportunity to have you on Let's Get Loud to just share your Damascus Road experience.
And it has been a real experience. God has been good, and God has been good.
Wonderful. But before we hear that experience, I'm sure everyone out there wants to hear, we will remind our listeners this time that this show is brought to them by
Sellers International Exquisite Tailoring and Custom Design, located at 58 Mary Street, Georgetown, Grand Cayman, are the masters at custom designs and alterations and have been for over 8 years. We specialize in men, women, and children's clothing at prices that are hard to beat. Contact Peter at 517-6641 to make an appointment. At Sellers International, we do the sewing and let the clothes do the talking.
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Peter, the Damascus Road experience. Now, I know you've had a lot of experience, but there are some major highlights on that road to Damascus that you want to share with us. Take us back to the very first experience when you had that moment.
Ingrid, I think it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago. I normally go to church every New Year's Eve with my mother because she's a devoted Christian. And this particular year, I did not go. I did not go for whatever reason it was. I did not go. And I felt guilty not going. But nonetheless, I crossed over into 2012 it was. And that particular year, when my incident happened, when I got shot, it was a robbery attempt at my place of business. Some guys, young guys came there and they came up and they asked me how much to repair, do some adjustments for them. And I told them I have to see it first. So the guy was wearing an knapsack. So he turned him and positioned him to open the bag to take out whatever he brought for me to work on. And when he turned him, I noticed he was looking a bit jittery. You know, and the voice said to me, go around the counter and just go close to him.
Okay.
When I went around there and the guy went in the bag, he came up with a gun.
How did you feel when you saw that?
I didn't have time to think.
Wow.
It was instantaneous. I was just on him within like milliseconds. And I held on to the gun. We fought and I tripped him. We were on the ground and we were fighting for the gun on the ground.
Okay.
His friend got panicked and he said to him, come and take the gun and shoot him. And the friend was standing off. My mother was at the shop at the time. She had her grandson under her arm, 3 months old at the time. And she realized that she ran out. Motherly instinct, she ran out. And without even thinking twice, she came to assist me. It was in the middle of the day. People were there, but people were just scared. Everybody just ran.
This was in the middle
of the day. This was like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock to be exact. Prime daylight. Everybody was there, and everybody just was just afraid. And while I was there fighting for my life,
right,
I felt when his friend came and he pulled the gun from his hand, and I was lying on the ground with the guy, and the guy came over me to shoot me, and my mother grabbed onto him. So she had the baby in the left hand, and she was holding onto him with the right hand. And she was fighting, and I was fighting. And she was saying, help, help. Nobody came to help. I got up to try and run. The guy held onto me. The guy got back the gun from my mother, and he came around, and he was trying not to shoot his friend. And when he pointed the gun at me, I twisted to the left, and I heard when the shot went off. When the shot went off, I saw them talking amongst each other, and the voice said to me, what are you doing? Run. Instinctually run. I didn't know I got shot at the time. So I ran left, and they ran right. It was like in the movies. I was in the middle of the road, cars coming. I felt my chest getting heavy. The bullet went into the right side of my chest, through my lungs, exited my back. I was in the road running, heading the opposite direction from them, and the vehicle was just going around. Nobody was stopping. I was trying to get assistance. Nobody was stopping. And I went across the road, and I leaned on the wall because I felt myself getting weaker and weaker. So I leaned on the wall, and I was trying to recuperate. When people realized that it was me, everybody started to come out. And they stopped the car. My mother came, stopped the car came. I don't know this lady. She just appeared out of nowhere, picked me up. We jumped in the car. We were on our way to the hospital.
Was the hospital far from you?
Yeah, I think it was about 10 minutes. Okay. It was about 10 minutes away. This is so funny. When I went in the car, because I'm so tall, 6'2",
right.
They had to put me to lay on the back seat, and my leg was bent. I was folded up on the back seat. It's not like Cayman now we have ambulance and all the nice things. No. Right. I was rushed to the hospital by a passerby. My mother jumped in the vehicle. She was in the front, and the lady was driving. And
did she still have the baby?
No, she had left the baby back at the shop. Okay. So what happened was, while we were en route to the hospital, there was a calm and there was a peace around my mother. I've never seen it before. I understand it now.
Right.
And for a mother to see her son going through this traumatic experience, she was so calm. She took the phone out. She called ahead to the hospital because my sister runs the emergency department there. She's a head nurse there.
Okay.
And so she called ahead and she says, we are coming with your brother. He has been shot. And she says, okay, she came off the phone. When she came off the phone, she turned to me now and she stretched her arm over me and she said, have mercy, Lord. Have mercy. Hey, Mama. She said, have mercy, Lord. Have mercy. I remember it clear as if it was yesterday. She said, have mercy, Lord, have mercy. And I was lying there looking up in the ceiling of the vehicle. And while we were driving, and I was saying to myself, something is wrong with this picture. I am the one dying, and she's the one begging.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was like that. And I was like, you know something? Let me reach out to whatever force she's reaching out to. So I said, Lord, I can't die today. I am young. I have plenty girls.
Hold on. You're young. You have plenty girls.
I am young. I have plenty girls. My son's birthday is in 3 months' time. My girlfriend is pregnant. So much going on. I can't go. Too much things going on, God. I can't go. This is just not my time. I hear nothing. I heard nothing. I had to change my tune. And it was then I said, Lord, if you save my life, I come and do some work for you. I heard nothing. We arrived at the hospital. And when we pulled up to the front, they opened the door and they brushed the wheelchair to take me out. The blood that was within me, because I was breathing internally, so the blood wasn't going down to my foot because my foot was bent. So when they took me out and they stretched my foot out, the blood went down to my foot. And I felt my head swung back. I was gone. I knew I was gone. It was pitch dark. And while I was in darkness, I heard my son saying, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. And while he was saying Daddy in darkness, I saw like I was in, when you're in the dark and you're looking towards the light?
Yes.
It was a moment like that. And I saw two ropes extending from the heavens. The ropes that they used to tie ships. And there was two big bumps on each end. And I held onto the left one and I held onto the right one. And I pulled myself up. And when I pulled myself up, I opened back my eyes and I was back.
So you were literally sitting up when you came back?
I was back and my sister was standing over me and my face was burning me. She slapped me 100 times. She said, try not dead. Try not dead. Try not dead. Those were exact words. They rushed me to emergency and they took me out, put me in there, they cut my clothes off and they started to work. They ordered blood, every single thing. And I said to them, help, help. Felt myself slipping again. And they said to me, not to worry, we're going to help you. She said, count from 10 to 1.
Right.
And I was rushed off to the emergency and they operated on me. That was after 1 in the day. When I woke up back, it was 9:30 in the night. I woke up in intensive care. I was wearing a pampers. I was on a machine. I couldn't breathe for myself. The machine was breathing for me. I was strung up, left, right, and center. And there was a tube coming from my side, taking out all the blood that was inside of me.
Okay.
And when I opened my eyes and I realized I was still here, I didn't even understand the magnitude of what I went through.
Right.
But I was glad I'm still here. My family was standing around the bed and everything, and they were just glad. And they were just glad. And I laid there, and I wasn't talking at the time because I was still under the drugs. I wasn't talking or anything. I was just looking around, and I was just giving God thanks. The doctor came, and the doctor saw me. This happened on Monday.
Right.
And miraculously, I was out of the hospital by the Saturday morning. I was up walking. Everything was okay. It's as if I was just renewed. I was back on my feet and I got discharged this Saturday. And instead of keeping the promise I made to God, I went right back out in the world, sinning again.
So you went back to the girls?
I went back to the girls.
Went back to the baby mama?
I went back to the baby mamas.
Went back to the
parties.
I
went back to the flamboyant lifestyle because I like nice things this year and I have to be nice. So it's like, whenever I'm coming to you, have to know I'm coming. This is just me. You're within self, your carnal self. We are so proud and whatnot. This is me. I have gone through this and I've arrived. Thinking that it was of my own strength. Thinking it was of my own strength. This guy, I went back to work and this guy came one day and he said to me.
Which guy? Not the same guy?
No. This is a complete stranger. I don't know this guy.
Okay.
He said to me, do you want to go to Cayman? I said, no. He said, there's a job in Cayman for you. And they need a tailor up there. You want to go? I said, no, I'm not going. And after he left his number. And my mother came and said to me, son, why don't you just go? Just to give yourself a break.
Okay,
from
so
everything.
How long after all that this happened?
Months.
Months.
I didn't go back to what I didn't do what I promised God. I just went back doing what I was doing.
Right.
Business as usual. Until the opportunity came to come here. I didn't want to come.
Okay. But before we get here though, did they find the guys who attacked you?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
They arrested them.
Mhm.
I went and I did the identification parade. I pointed them out.
Right.
Everything. And they set a time for the court.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, when the time for the court came up, I migrated here.
So they literally.
So the police called me
Okay.
and said to me that the case is ready. I should come back home to testify against them.
Okay.
And I said to him, you know what, officer? Let them go. He said, the man nearly kill you. They said they nearly kill you. How can you just let them? I said, let them go. I don't know why I was saying to let them go.
Right.
And I didn't lift a finger. I was not angry at them. It's as if I realized that what had happened to me had opened my eyes. Let me tell you why. I had my kids. I had no time for them. I was busy chasing the world, chasing money, chasing everything else.
And chasing the women.
Yes.
Who got you the kids?
Yes. and new girls, of course.
And new girls, yes.
And when the situation happened to me, I realized I got a taste of how serious it is. Where you can be here now, and within a second you're gone. My eyes were opened also to appreciate the smaller things in life. I was busy chasing money and everything else. And family values, the love of your kids, and even finding a steady mate.
Yes.
Those things are so simple. And it was ordained by God for us to enjoy all of these things.
Yes.
I didn't understand it. After the incident, I took all my kids and I had them under my wings.
Yeah.
Nobody could pry them from me because I realized that the time that we have with them is so precious. And it even affected me when I was leaving, coming here.
Right. Because by then it was.
No, it was only
3?
4.
Okay.
4 at the time. Okay. 4 at the time. My daughter, I took her to the hospital the Friday and I was on the plane this Saturday. Her birthday is the 14th of August, and I was on the plane the 17th of August coming here.
So the baby was just a baby?
Just a baby. Just a baby. And I came here.
All right, but before we hear more about your transition to the Cayman Islands, I just want to remind our listeners that this show is brought to them by
Sellers International Exquisite Tailoring and Custom Design, located at 58 Mary Street, Georgetown, Grand Cayman, are the masters at custom designs and alterations and have been for over 8 years. We specialize in men, women, and children's clothing at prices that are hard to beat. Contact Peter at 517-6641 to make an appointment. At Sellers International, we do the sewing and let the clothes do the talking.
So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Before we took that break, we heard about how Peter's eyes were opened after he got shot. He came to a near-death experience, actually died, if you ask me, and how after that it gave him a new perspective to life, and he got his kids close to him. But then an opportunity arose for him to leave Jamaica, leave his days old baby girl, and make the transition from his home country to the Cayman Islands. Peter, talk to us about that. After that gentleman left his card and you flat out told him no, what happened after that?
My mother came and spoke to me. And she said to me, son, just give the place a break. Just give this place a break. Just a change of scenery. Just go relax a bit and then you come back. And funny enough, she should say that because deep down within me, there has always been this nudging that you need to travel to somewhere. You have some work to do somewhere. It has always been within, deep down within me. I don't know where it came from. So the guy came. I called him. I sent my paperwork in, and the lady at the time, my employer, promised me the entire Cayman.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I was promised the entire Cayman. Oh, boy.
I can't wait to hear this one.
So I jumped in the plane, I packed everything up, and I traveled. I came on the Saturday, the 17th of August, 2013. I landed in Cayman. Wow. I was the last person to come off the plane.
Why?
I had bags and pants, you
Oh,
coming
no,
out the country, but
no.
I had everything in my
No,
hand
Peter,
because I
no.
was just traveling. And I was like, I make sure I brought everything I need because I'm going to a new place. I don't know what. I brought everything.
What's everything, Peter? I'm just curious.
I had about 4 suitcases. I had a machine in my hand. I had bits and pieces of sewing stuff. Everything I brought. But then we used to exit the plane, either the back door or the front door.
Right.
So I was in the middle of the plane. So when I got the stuff done, everybody came off the plane and I struggled to the back door. There was this close the back door. I said, sorry, sir, you have to go to the front. I was like, oh, okay, then. So anyway, I came to the front. I went through immigration and everything went good. She came and she picked me up. Okay, cool. I said, okay, take me to the shop. I need to operate now because I'm anxious. I'm hungry, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, I that's my work ethic. So I need to get going because I need to get myself established so people can know who I am.
Okay.
So she said, the shop is not ready yet. I said, the shop is not ready yet. The machines were in boxes. Still I had to assemble the machine. I had to put the shop together. It was basically, there was no shop. Okay, she had no clients and there was no shop. None.
Well, it's good that you had some experience.
Yes. So, and of course, I said, I don't see myself as a failure. When I see a challenge, I get excited.
Oh, that's good.
So I say, okay, that's okay. I'm going to build this thing from scratch. Okay, that's good. That's a clean slate. Good. So I put the shop together. And of course, we started. After 2 months, the shop got closed down.
Closed down?
Closed down. She was not, I guess, ready for business yet. Yeah. She wasn't ready for business yet, I guess. But within that 2 months I was here, I was toiling. I was putting in my work. I was putting pieces on the road.
Okay.
My good friend, Donna Myrie, had a fashion show on rooftop. And I met her because the first shop was across from her Mary Street, like 50 Mary Street. And I met her there and then. And she said to me, you're new and I like you. And this is what.
And you were still Peter.
Yeah, still Peter. And she said to me, I'm having a fashion show. I'm going to be showcasing my bags and stuff. So what you could do is you could showcase a couple of your pieces. Oh. I had nothing made, only my personal clothes that I brought. So I modeled those. 400 suits, everything.
Oh, so you were the model?
Yeah, I was the model, everything. I did everything. And we got a buzz going. Okay? I started getting clients. 1, 2 clients. Then the shop closed down. Just like that. The nice lady took the machines and everything and she took it home. And then she said, okay, I'll call you. And that was it.
Really?
That was it. I had no permits. I didn't even start making any money yet.
So what did you do?
I was just home. I was living in Rockville at the time. And as God would have it, the lady that rented me the apartment, right, she turned out to be my aunt in Jamaica's friend. Oh. It's so funny. So when time came around for me to pay the rent, right, I didn't have anyone to pay the rent. I'm just coming because I was promised
the world,
the entire Cayman. And when I came here, it was a complete opposite. Oh, wow. And let's just leave it there. It's a complete opposite. Yes. But I, as I tell you before, the fighting spirit is in me, so I didn't back down from it. Right. Where I was staying, as I mentioned before, I'm 6'2". And the bed was like 5 feet long. Wow. 3 nights out of the week, I would have muscle contract because I have to fold and then scoot up on it and I have to stretch out. But that's okay. That didn't dampen my spirit. When you see me, you don't even know. Some men thought I was working in the bank because shirt is in my pants, I'm well dressed, well neat, and I'm focusing. Yes. I'm focusing. And I said, God, still don't know God yet. Yeah. But I said, God, funny it is we can call upon God when we're in need. Oh, yes. And I said, God, why did you bring me here?
You asked God why he brought you.
Yeah, I said, what is going on? I was home. I have business running. I was super happy. I was okay.
But just let me ask you one question. Did you say, God, should I go to Cayman?
No, I didn't.
Okay, then why did you ask God why he brought you here?
That's the thing, because the first sign of trouble, we tend to start looking for somebody to blame.
That's it, Peter.
So I said, God, why did you bring me here? I know nothing. I heard silence. When I did my first outfit for a client, another person saw it and she said, where did you buy that? Where did you buy that? And she said, there's a guy who made it. She said, take me to him. I need to know who he is. So she came and she met me and she said to me, I want you to make something for me. They were having breast cancer gala, pink and black, the yearly event. Yeah. And she said, I want you to make something for me. She brought a design to me and she said, can you make this? And I said, yes, that's easy. That's easy. But I didn't say, oh, no. I said, yeah, I can do it.
Because you've been in the business for how long, right?
Oh, my word. From I was knee high.
Wow.
And funny enough, I didn't even like sewing. But
it was a family business.
Yeah, it just came to me naturally. I didn't even like sewing. So when she came to me and I said, okay, cool. And I did the dress for her, she was super impressed. You couldn't tell if it was made on island or she bought it in the stores abroad. And she said to me, do you want to work with me? I said, what do you mean? She says, I have an idea. And I said, funny enough, because I too have an idea. She said, I can't sew. I said, I can sew. She said, I said, I don't have the money. She said, she have the money.
Wow.
So, okay then.
So you see, when people have ideas, some people sit on the ideas because they think that, okay, I don't have the money or I don't have the skill. So they don't find somebody who can either fund it or who has the skill. And in this case, two people. One had the money.
Oh.
But both of you had the same passion and the same vision.
Same passion, same vision. And God had sent that lady to me. God had sent her. I must tell you. And I've respected her up until today's day. I have the highest levels of respect for her up until today.
Yeah.
She's not my business partner.
Wow.
Yes. And when she had to put in business license, we had to get plates, going from scratch now, send back and buy machines, everything.
Rebuilding again.
All over again. This was in September, October. I was on time from October until January. I don't know how. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me how. Thank God, immigration. Thank you, immigration. But don't ask me how. God has been there. And we got the business license and we opened shop in January of 2014. Okay. And when we opened the shop 2014 January, God has been there from that time up until today. God has been there. I'm not going to say it has been easy. No. It has been not hard, challenging. But you see, if we are not tested, if we are not tried, how can we be proven?
All right.
You understand? I'm speaking now from a man of God now speaking, but back then I was not. But now I understand what I had to go through to get to here.
Right.
And if you should ask me, what would I have changed between then and now? I would say nothing. Because what I went through between then and now has made me who I am today. And I thank God for that. I thank God for that. I got introduced to persons through my work, through my skills, through the craft, people who appreciate the level of skill that I demonstrated. I'm not boasting. I'm not bragging. Some people would say I am, but honestly, I am not. Once ago I would be, but now I'm humbled. I'm humbled.
By the talent God gave you.
By the talent God has given me. I'm humbled.
And the one that you've used too. Because as we heard in the introduction, you wanted to be a pilot.
Yes.
You are an actor.
Yes.
A drama.
I came here first. I came here in 1999, 2000. I performed here at the Lions Center. When I came here with a play some years before, I think it was Olaf who brought the play here. And
also, it wasn't your first time when
when I came with my second time.
With your bag and panty.
Bag and panty the second time. The first time I came acting here.
Oh, wow.
So we established the business and we started to grow. And God has been blessing us since. And He has put great people. He has put great people in my path. And the reception from the Cayman community is so great. I hear sometimes people cursing and criticizing. But let me tell you something. If you put yourself out there and you sell yourself,
Yes.
Cayman will reward you and they will respect you.
Nice. I like that. So before we go on, Peter, I just want to remind our listeners that this show is brought to you by
Sellers International Exquisite Tailoring and Custom Design, located at 58 Mary Street, Georgetown, Grand Cayman, are the masters at custom designs and alterations and have been for over 8 years. We specialize in men, women, and children's clothing at prices that are hard to beat. Contact Peter at 517-6641 to make an appointment. At Sellers International, we do the sewing and let the clothes do the talking.
Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Before we took that break, we heard about Peter's journey in establishing, well, actually twice, business here in the Cayman Islands, and how an angel came with the same idea he had, but he had the skill and she had the funds, and together they built a business. And we want to hear now more about how this business developed and what came out of this business. Peter, talk to us.
Yes, ma'am. So as I was saying earlier, we established a business and we started to move from strength to strength. It was growing. It was growing like wildfire. I was getting out, people getting to know me, people who needed a certain job done. They say, check Peter. I was the man. And I was super happy. And I was living the Cayman dream.
Wow, what's the Cayman dream, Peter?
The Cayman dream, you heard about the American dream.
Yeah.
Well, I was living the Cayman dream where it was just everywhere I go, I was being acknowledged for my skills. I was being elevated in society, so to speak, quote unquote.
Yes.
Meeting influential persons and whatnot. And it was just good. It was just good. I was every weekend I would be off up East End, cruising in my convertible.
Wow.
Every other week we'd be at the hotel, just chilling. Just chilling.
It's the Cayman dream.
The Cayman dream.
But let me ask you one thing though. You remember when you said you got your kids close to you? Did the Cayman dream include your kids?
Oh, yes. Okay. No, the first chance I got, I packed every one of them up and I flew 5. My mother, I flew my mom here and my 3 kids, my mom, 3 of my kids, and a nephew. I packed them up and I flew them here for 3 months. I think it was, the summer.
Wow.
2015. I brought them here and they got a taste of it as well. I mean, the island is super nice. The crime is almost nothing. And that is what I love about it. The most important thing I love about it. The crime is almost none. And they also loved it. They came back year after year after year. This was their vacation point. This was their vacation point. We couldn't leave them out. I also helped other persons to come here.
Nice.
I had to. Because this is just, I couldn't keep it to myself.
That's good.
Yes, but as I was doing these things, and of course, the pandemic hit back then, and it was as if the world just stopped. Every business was just closing down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I tell you this, the day I got the call that we had to close down and to go home, a part of me was a bit worried, and another side of me was saying, just relax. I got this. There was this calm. I don't know where it came from. My girlfriend at the time was worried and she said, we need to move back to Jamaica. I said, no, we're not going nowhere. This is where we have roots. We're not going nowhere.
Right.
Just relax. It will be done.
Yes, the Cayman dream. You can't just
The Cayman dream. I got a call that they were in short. They were in need of face masks and whatnot.
Right.
And I got a call from NAU. And to a contact of mine, and she said that, will you be able to manufacture some masks and shot? I said, yes, of course, anything anything to help. And they did what they had to do. I was exempted. I got the letter, I was exempted, and I came out and I started manufacturing masks. NAU, Child Services, half of the persons who I spoke for. Plus
let's get love.
Let's get love. I did some for you.
Yeah.
I did some for my good friend Mr. Dawkins, and I was just manufacturing masks, and I was just giving it, and I sold some, of course, but I was just giving. Who couldn't pay? I just give it to them.
Yes.
I wasn't even thinking. I was just contributing.
Right.
You know, and that lasted for a while. And to be honest with you, I could, when they said that we had a break in our bills and whatnot, I paid every single one.
That's good.
I paid everything. I was able to cover all my expenses. I was in no arrears.
That's good.
Zero arrears. And it was good. And I had to give God thanks for that.
Of course.
Now, the country started to slacken back out.
Right.
And I went back to taking my usual vacation up by the Morris. We partying, we just tour in the weekends.
Yes.
And
back to life.
Back to life.
Came and dream.
Came and dream again. Remember, no God.
No God.
Remember, no God. I went, it was last year, 2021. Just came back from the vacation, and I was home, and I had an incident. The thing broke, and I got a cut on the back of my neck right here. And when it happened, I wasn't even taking it, that's like, when I was just taking it casual.
Right.
But when I felt the blood started to spray, it was as if you cut a hose. It just started to spray.
The pressure built up.
The pressure was built, it just started to spray. And I grabbed onto my neck, and my girlfriend at the time, she panicked. She was just screaming and jumping. And she could not take me to the hospital. And based on how it was bleeding, I said, this makes no sense. I called the ambulance. I'm not going to make it. So I rushed to my...
death came again.
Death again. Death again. I knocked my neighbor up. Miss Thelma. I said, Miss Thelma, please, can you take me to the hospital? And she said, what happened? I said, I got caught in an accident. She said, okay. And she jumped out, and she was driving. I jumped in her car. I was sitting in the front.
Okay, so you didn't have to curl up this time.
No. I was sitting down, and I was holding onto my neck, trying to add pressure to it. And I was just being washed in my blood. I bled from the front of the car to the back of the car. The blood went down, soaked down on me, soaked the seat, came through the creases, went to the back, soaked the back. She was driving, and she was saying, my God, Peter, what have you done? Look at your car. I can't see night. I can't drive. I said, Miss Thelma, calm. Remember, I'm the one who's dying, and I have to be the calm one. I said, Miss Thelma, calm. Please drive. You don't have to stop at every stop sign.
Right.
You could just go around them.
Right.
And she was obeying every rules of the roads. It was if we taking hours to get to the hospital.
My God.
It was hours. While she was driving, she said, what happened? I said, it's an accident. And I said to her, remember, this is an accident, because I felt myself going. And I did not want, because if I had died, then my girlfriend would have been in problems.
Right.
And I said to them, no, this is an accident. This is an accident. I explained to her, and then I said to her, listen, my password are these, my this is that, my account is this, and I was just setting stuff in order. I was just making my way.
Wow.
Because I said,
because you knew what it felt like.
I know what it felt. I know that the taste of death, when it gets in your mouth, you never forget it.
God.
You never forget the taste of death. And when death looks at you and smiles, the only thing you can do is smile back. The only thing you can do is smile back. I was in the car coming down on the bypass, and I looked over the church, Faith Tabernacle. That's where Bishop Malachi Nelson. I do some work for him.
Right.
He has always come to my shop, and I do stuff for him, and he has always said, Peter, you're not coming. I said, no.
Living the Cayman dream.
Yeah. You can slow me down. And I've never gone to church. I've only on New Year's Eve, of course, and no at special times. And when I was passing the church, I looked over there, and instantly something said to me, you know what to do. And after I made my way clear with her, I sat down, holding my hand to my neck, trying to add pressure to it, just to buy a few more seconds, not minutes, not a few more seconds. And I sat there, and I felt my body going weak. I felt my arms tingling, my feet was tingling. So I know I was losing blood. I was losing blood. And I sat down there, and I went quiet. And I said, Lord, hey, ma, listen. Hey, ma, say, take care. said, Lord, I said, Lord, I didn't hear anything. And I said, Lord, it is so funny. I find myself back in this situation. If you don't help me this time, I cannot blame you. If you turn your back on me this time, I can understand. Because I've made a promise to you several years ago, and I did not keep my end of the bargain. So if you say no, I understand. But in spite of that might be, I am asking you, please, can you give me another chance? Ingrid, when I said those words, the atmosphere just felt still. Just looking back, it was just a still moment. We arrived at the hospital. We arrived at emergency. And the little strength I had, I climbed out the car, holding onto my neck, soaked in blood from head to toe. And I stumbled into the emergency and I collapsed on the bed. Nurses, everybody running in, they were panicking. They were like, what happened? What happened? Who stopped him? I said, no, it's not a stop. The glass broke, and I was explaining to them, making my way clear.
Yes.
The ground that was white instantly became red. The lady that was mopping could not mop fast enough. There were two doctors on my...
Got a lot of blood.
Listen, there were two doctors on my left, and they were searching to find the wound.
Right.
And while they were searching, he said, I can't find it. He's going to bleed out. We're losing him. And I was lying there, and I was looking up those bright lights. I was looking up into those lights. And while I was looking up into those lights, I was just saying, the Lord is my shepherd.
You remember that one?
I was saying, the Lord is my shepherd. I shall not walk. He maketh me to lie down in green. Hey, ma, hey, ma, say, take it, ma, ha, say, take it, oh, so. Maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Hey, take it, ma. Yea, do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely, holy goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever and ever and ever. Every time I remember this, it just brings me back right there. Right. It is so real. That was the second touch. Hey, ma. Yes, take mama sataka masatoku. Yes, take ma. Osotoko mama siete ke mama sataka siete. Osotoko mama sataka. Yes, take ma. Oko mama sataka. Yes, take. That was the second touch. You see, you when you come into contact with God, it is impossible for you to remain the same. It is impossible. It is impossible. They called every doctor they could find. I heard there were 10 doctors there. Wow. I heard there were 10 doctors there. And I wasn't under no anesthetic. Wow. And they were cutting my neck up. They were cutting it to try to find the bleeding, to stop it so I could be taken into emergency, to operate theater. Yes. There were 10 doctors there. There was an 11th doctor that was on call.
Amen.
This doctor that was there, he's not on the board of directors. He's not on nobody's pay list. This one was the head surgeon.
Yes.
He was the one who was overseeing the operation. And he was saying, be still.
I know.
Be still. I know that I am God. Be still. I know that I am God. Be still. My prayers were answered. I was rushed to the emergency department. I was rushed to the operating theater. And while I was lying there, the lady was doing her checklist and she came over and she said to me, "Sir, what are you allergic to? Do you have any allergies?" And there was such a peace and a calm within me. I looked at the lady and I said to her, "Ma'am, I am allergic to broke pocket."
Oh, Jesus Christ, Peter.
She laughed and she said, "At least you still have your sense of humor." I don't know where it came from, but there was just a calm hovering over me. Don't worry, my son. Don't worry, my son. Don't worry. Hey, mama, take it. Yes, take it, mama. Also, to come. This is why I have to be a witness.
Yes.
This is why I have to be a witness. Because I am a witness.
You are a witness.
I am a witness.
So you came out of that.
I woke up 3:30 in the morning in recovery. There was a patient beside me. And I opened my eyes and I saw him. And I realized that I was still here. And no, I know what I was supposed to do.
All right. So before we hear, Peter, what you're supposed to do, we are going to pause right now to remind our listeners that this show is brought to you by
Sellers International Exquisite Tailoring and Custom Design, located at 58 Mary Street, Georgetown, Grand Cayman, are the masters at custom designs and alterations and have been for over 8 years. We specialize in men, women, and children's clothing at prices that are hard to beat. Contact Peter at 517-6641 to make an appointment. At Sellers International, we do the sewing and let the clothes do the talking.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we took the break, we heard the miraculous, safe, and speedy action, even during the point where he was bleeding out, that he sought help and got to the hospital, and here he is in the recovery room, and now he says, I know now what I'm supposed to do. Peter, sitting in front of me is a different Peter. When I saw you the first time, I was like, who's that? Because I didn't see the ponytail. I didn't see anything. I saw somebody different. Tell us about that.
Yes. I woke up in recovery. I borrowed the patient's phone to try and call my girlfriend at the time.
Right.
To let her know that I was okay.
Yeah.
Because I know she was dying. She was dying. She was just screaming. And I couldn't get through. And I asked the nurse and whatnot to make some calls on me. I lighted my family members.
Right.
And they came. And I was released from hospital. I was on my feet from 7 o'clock. The doctor said, the nurses and doctor said to me, "Sir, please sit down. You have lost half of your blood."
Wow.
I didn't get any blood transfusion. No blood transfusion. I lost half of my blood. I was walking by 8 o'clock. I was anxious to leave. And I was discharged from the hospital about 12 o'clock. I went home. And when I went home, as if I was just in a daze.
Yeah.
I was in the moment where, is that in your caught between day and night?
Yes.
Life and death?
Yes.
Happy and sad?
Yes.
I was in that moment. And then all of a sudden, my skin started to bother me. Everything just started to bother me. I feel like I wanted to just shed my skin and take myself out.
Wow.
That feeling just came. The weight of the world was just so great on me. It was just so great on me. It was just so great. I could not contain it.
Right.
The Sunday, that was a Thursday.
Right.
The Sunday was Father's Day. And I picked up some clothes from my home and I decided I'm going to go to church this Sunday. And I went to the church.
The same church.
The same church that I passed. Faith Tabernacle. Pastor Malikan's. And I went there and they were handing out gifts. There was not even preaching going on.
Right.
There was no preaching. It was just celebrating Father's Day and greeting everybody and whatnot.
Right.
And he looked and he saw me at the back and he said, Peter, come on up, man. And I didn't want to go because I haven't been to church in a while.
Right.
I didn't pay any offering and nothing. So I said, I can't take nothing because I didn't contribute anything. He said, no, man, come on up, man. He called me up and he gave me a bag. And when I turned and he saw the plaster at my neck, he said to me, what happened to you? And I said to him, he said, don't leave. I want to talk to you.
Right.
I went back to my seat and I was sitting there and I was just feeling the entire world pressing on me. It was just so great.
Right.
And after church, he called me upstairs into his office and we were sitting there. And I was telling him what happened and everything. And while I was talking to him and I pulled my phone out and I was showing him the car. Out the car, it was the blood that curdled on the seat and everything was just looking like it was just like somebody was just murdered in the car.
Wow.
And I was looking at the blood and I connected to the blood.
Wow.
I connected to the blood. So when I say I know it was the blood, I know it was the blood.
You have proof.
I know it was the blood that saved me.
Yes. My God.
I looked at it and I saw where I was dead. And he said to me, what are you going to do? And he said to me, I'm going to baptize you. And I said, yes. Tears coming down.
Right.
I was just sitting there. I couldn't contain myself.
Right.
And he went to get a change of clothes and whatnot. And while I was sitting there, he must have left me about a minute. But that minute was taking so long. And I got up and I went downstairs and I went outside to where they had the pool on the side of the church.
Right.
And I saw him said, changing the clothes. I said, no, you're wasting time, Pastor. You're wasting time. And he went in the water and I went in the water.
Shoes and all, right?
Every single thing, my shirt, my pants, my shoes, my vest, every single thing, I went directly into the water. Funny enough, I always say to my friends who have always encouraged me to come to Christ, my good friend Faith Banks and others, including you, have always encouraged me. And I always say to my assistant, they can't get me. No. Have to be some top superstar come here who can actually penetrate to me. And when I'm going to be baptized, we're all going to be wearing white linen. And we have to be on the beach, big spectacle.
Oh, Lord.
It has to be a grand spectacle. And when I am baptized, when I come up, doves are going to fly down and pitch on me. You're really an actor. It was an elaborate baptism I was dreaming of.
Right.
To be honest with you, this baptism was so humbling. It was just a little pool on the side of the church. We climbed on the ladder to go in there. And when I went in there and he said to me, confess your sins. And I said, yes. And I turned and then he says, I baptize you in the name of Jesus. And he dipped me in the water. And I went down. Hey, mama, yeah, me mama see, take ma, ha, take it, yeah, take ma. I went down. And he took me back out. And when I came back out, Ingrid, everything that was bothering me was gone. There was no stress. There was no bitterness. There was no pain. There was no worrying. There was no crying. There was no shame. There was nothing. There was a tense. The atmosphere was tense. And there was just a calm that was hovering over the water. He was just hovering over the water. And then the water started to vibrate.
Wow.
Believe me when I tell you. And when the water started to vibrate, I felt my hand started to buzz. And my hand was buzzing. And instantly I went off. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want.
Wow.
He maketh me to lie down in green pastures.
Thank you, Lord.
And I started to repeat that. And when, at the end of it, I said forever and ever and ever. And after saying the forever for the 15th time, the Holy Ghost dropped on me. I started to move in the water in such a way I didn't even know I was doing it. You have to experience this.
It's an experience. It's a Damascus Road experience.
This was me being born again.
Amen.
I have heard the term being born again.
Yes.
Nicodemus said, how can a man be born again when he is old?
Right.
He can't enter back up into his mother's womb. This is not that.
Yes.
This is being born again of the Spirit.
Yes.
I was buried with him in baptism. I rose with him in faith. Through the operations of God that rose him from the dead. So all the transgression and the handwriting and the ordinance that was against me has been blotted out and then nailed to his cross.
Amen.
I am free.
You are free, Peter.
And the scripture says, who is free? Who is set free?
Son sets free.
Is free indeed.
Amen.
And I rejoice in freedom.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you for that, Peter. Thank you so much for that. People needed to hear your story so they can know that God is real. God is real, and no matter what, no matter how far you run from Him, no matter how far, no matter if they came in dream, no matter what, the riches of this world, you know, the one thing you're allergic to, a broke pocket, no matter what it is, when God is ready for you, you just got to yield to Him. Peter, I thank you so very much for this opportunity. And I know you have so much more to share. And we will be hearing more from you because I know you'll be coming back to share your experience, your life after burial with Him in baptism. So, ladies and gentlemen, until next time we hear from Peter, this is Ingrid saying, let's get loud.
Keeping you up to date with information you